Hi everybody, this is Lori Pinhorn, social worker and holistic nutritionist, and I am the creator of LoriPinhorn.com and one of the co-creators of FeedingFuturesNutrition.com. So welcome back for my weekly video blog, and today what I want to talk to people about is anxiety, stress, and the connection to a disruption in your digestive system. So this topic comes up so often in a lot of my clients. It's in the little kids calm program and also in the adult program. Lots of people reach out to me just because they're having so much trouble with their digestive system. They are in such pain and discomfort, gas, bloating, all of that stuff. And quite often people have anxiety and a lot of stress. Those kind of two things come hand in hand. And the reason that your anxiety and stress impacts your digestive system is it really has to do with your brain, the primitive part of your brain, and your survival mechanism. So your brain is always trying to keep you alive. That's just full stop. That's just the way that it is. And so what happens is when we're really anxious, when we're really stressed, our cortisol and adrenaline, the hormones that drive our fight or flight response, are high. And when the body senses that those hormones are high, what it sort of does is it has a conversation with itself and it says, okay, Lori's obviously in a very stressful situation. She might actually even have to run for her life or fight for her life. So what we're going to do is go into energy conservation mode. So there's a checklist of things that are a part of your nervous system that are just sort of happening in the background all the time. And digestion just happens to be one of those processes. So you don't actually have to say to yourself after you eat a meal, okay, stomach, will you start doing its work? Will you pull in digestive enzymes? Will you pull out all the moisture from the food, use that for your hydration, pull out all the vitamins and minerals and fibers and use those like you need to? Like, this magic just happens in the background. We don't even have to think about it. But what the primitive brain says when cortisol and adrenaline is high is like, well, I'm not wasting any energy on that at this moment, because if Lori has to run for her life, let's just put all the energy into her ability to run away and take care of herself and function on that level and not really worry about the digestion. Once she's safe and she's secured, I'll put all that energy back into the digestive system. But for right now, I'm just going to kind of go on energy conservation mode. And as a result of that, what happens is the digestive enzymes in the belly don't come out like they would normally. We get low acid, and that's why we get a lot of gas and burning and bloating and things like that. We're not actually digesting our food very well. But the other part of the digestive system that's super important is this constant movement of the digestive system. So that's called peristalsis. And peristalsis doesn't happen very much or very optimally when your cortisol and adrenaline is high. So without the digestive enzymes, without the movement of the belly and the digestive tract, what happens is the system slows down, it gets sluggish, and what happens is people are lucky if they're pooping once a day, and that you really want to poop once a day, because we don't want a buildup of the environmental and food toxins in our system. If you don't poop once a day, then what happens is your detoxification system has to work harder and your body gets exposed to things for a longer period of time than it actually wants to be exposed to it. The other side of the coin is some people's digestive system is going too fast. So as soon as there's a lull in the activity and you get a little bit of space and peace from your anxiety and stress, the digestive system is okay. Now let's get to work. And what happens is peristalsis happens too much. We don't absorb the right amount of water in the system. And then we get like diarrhea and you got to go all the time and things like that. So it's quite common for people who are living with anxiety and a lot of stress to either be on one side of the coin, which is not going enough, or going too often. Both of those things from a nutritional perspective are not optimum. You go too much, you get toxic built, or you go too much, you don't absorb your nutrients very well. You go not enough, then you get a buildup of toxins. So we really want you to be in the middle road, sweet spot, where you're going very regularly. And regularly really means once you eat something, 24 hours is optimum transit time from the time that you eat to the time that you say bye-bye to it. So when you're anxious and stressed, all of that transit time gets mixed up. And not only that, the ability to absorb your vitamins and minerals is really impacted. And people who live with anxiety, you need optimum nutrition. So there's four main parts of optimum nutrition. One is to eat good food. The other is to digest good food. The other is to absorb the nutrients of the good food. Part 4 is the elimination of the food. And so when your anxiety is high and the digestive system takes a hit from energy conservation mode, what happens is that 3 components of the 4 parts of your optimum nutrition are impacted. So what will happen, and many of you watching this video knows, is when you're going back and forth between constipation and diarrhea, and you do that for a long period of time, you go to the doctor. The next thing happens is you get a diagnosis of irritable bowel syndrome, or you've got so much gas and bloating and things like that happening that you end up on a prescription that helps get the acid down. And it's too much time to go into the problems that happen when your gut and your digestive system starts to rely on antacids too much. That's pretty scary. One important thing I will say that happens when you have a lot of antacids in your stomach is that you really impact some of your vitamin and mineral absorption. And so what happens is sometimes we end up in a vitamin and mineral deficiency, specifically around your B vitamins, B12 specifically. We get deficient in those, and then that increases our anxiety and our depression. So you're kind of caught in this cycle of what came first. Was it the anxiety or the sluggish digestive system or the antacid situation that you need? But no matter how you slice it, what came first, your mental health takes a hit. So de-stress, de-anxiousness of your brain and your body is really where you can start supporting your digestive system. So I hope you enjoyed the message for today. Hop over on the web page or my Facebook page, hit like, share the video, and I'll be back next week with some more holistic health tips around how you can manage your life and your happiness. Bye.